guys. This is Pratty. Alright, now a few of you have asked for a guide, well, not really a guide, but what I use in my build. So I'll go over the passive, the Gates of Fate first. Mainly goes straight on attack damage, to movement speed, crit, soldier wildcard, that's a big one. Move across up the assassin tree, merciless lethality, which is 60% crit. Damage, but you do lose your 30% straight flat damage. I'm focused a lot on passive and movement speed, passive dodge chance, then I move over here to clandestine execution. That's pretty much it for that side. That one's just a bonus node, I'll just throw in there. Again with that one, movement speed. You want to go up here through projectile speed, I'll explain that in a minute. Attack speed score, attack damage, attack damage, attack damage, attack damage, it just keeps going. Life leech really important, helps you stay alive. I've got that for weapon damage. Move across here. I took that simply because I had an extra point, increases damage. We go up here, again this is all crit and melee damage, crit chance. This is attack speed, which is really good on crit. Obviously, yeah, intravenous neural cord. Material damage, attack speed, again this is all pretty much the same stuff I've been grabbing is material damage, attack damage. That one I use for any slows and stuff like that. Also the 20% chance to stun with physical damage. We move over here to attack speed. Fire damage I don't use, it's just I didn't want to take that because it reduces your passive dodge chance. I use Furious Appetite with the passively generate rage instead of willpower. That one is so handy in a melee build. It's pretty much a must, I believe. And then the next one I've got is Child of Fury. Now this is the one that gives you the buff on the left hand side. You'll see it in a minute. It's actually really handy. You do get a debuff to it, to all your resistance, but I believe the damage outweighs. Alright, then we move down here. These again are all passive dodge chance again, because actually we'll start over here. Go up here, maximum health. This is the 100% dodge chance after being hit. Really important. Then we move across, pardon me. We've got projectile damage, passive movement speed, passive again, passive. We've got projectile damage. Now, my mine is projectile, and it is one of my attacks from Slayer's Flurry. So this is really important, and it helps with the damage. I'll show you in a minute. Attack speed score, melee, material damage. Then I've got a few extra nodes here because I had a few extra points of just material damage. Branded burst, that's your reduces damage taken per point. Really handy in this build because you are a little bit squishy. I mean, I'm only 79. You're going to have a few more points you can put in. You can put it into cooldown reduction, toughness. I'll more than likely go more passive dodge chance because I really want to dodge everything, or maybe more attack if I can find it. It's just trying to reach those nodes that you can, if possible. Okay, from there, check out the pirate. He looks pretty badass. Alright, so for spells and abilities, Slayer's Flurry. I use crit chance, damage, then I do shadow damage. I just like it. It also does the curse stack, so I can see it goes blue. Enemies killed by this transmit the ailments to others, so the dots obviously go to everyone else. And then this one is another projectile spell, really important. I can show you the ability, but you can't really see it unless you hit something. The ability is that when you actually hit a target, pardon me, when you hit a target right here, it'll shoot out projectiles past that target to another, and it'll shoot out like 3 targets. That's mainly because I have that spell ability. Sorry. Then we move to Phantom Blades. This is an amazing spell. Does a huge amount of damage. For this one, I go damage, ailment damage, reload times for the charges because I use it quite a lot. I have converted that to Toxic for the simple fact that I love Toxic. It does a dot, and I can throw it and then kind of chill. I can wait, or I can go invisible, and I'm still doing damage. And there's the one that a few people have been asked it for, Blade Slinger. That's how I get the extra charge, so I hold 3. Normally it's 2, I believe. And then we've got this one here, which leaves a trail. That's why, again, for Toxic, When I throw it down, they have to walk through the poison to get to me. Then we've got Mark of Impurity. This is, obviously everyone knows this one. Very handy if you have the belt. I don't have that. I've farmed the absolute crap out of it. I can't get it. Always go the vulnerable to damage stuff. Really important. However, I personally like doing the explosion one. So this one here, when they killed under the effect of the Mark of Impurity, explode and deal damage based on the target's max health in an area around them. And then this one spreads to surrounding enemies on death. So you have those two together. When they explode, the marks go everywhere, and it's extremely cool to watch. You can lag out computers. Well, not computers, but the server. Me and my friends do it quite a lot, and it's very funny. Well, no, it's not funny because you crash into servers, but maybe Wolcen needs to sort their servers out. Okay, then I've got my Dust Shroud. This is all about staying alive, being... this is my res button as well. I'll explain that too later. So increase dodge chance, increase shadow damage after dropping it, and then I usually use my evasion, which I don't actually have on the moment, but I'll show you that in a second. Shadow Cloud also breaks CC. You can move through enemies whilst you have it on, which is again an amazing escape. Invisibility, reducing rage, and then reducing cooldown. Then we got Wings of Ishmir. This one is quite important. It's either an escape or a get into. These are the ones that I use. Reduce cooldown for each hit that kills an enemy. Rage regeneration, crit. I go Sacred Damage because Sacred Damage applies weakness, as you can read there. Physical, I've got a lot of physical, but Sacred is just, I don't know, I like the weakness debuff. Play ailments, stun on impact, which is quite nice. You'll see the little swirly purple stun mark when you jump on them. And then damage. Now this one here is actually incorrect. This was one I was playing around with last night. Usually I use this one, which is evasion. Reduces cooldown. Grants rage for each enemy hit by the projectile, hence why I took projectile damage earlier. Skills drop an additional projectile, +1. Break any character control, increases damage, and then this one here inflicts a area of effect instead of the slowing effect. So it's like a damage spot. I'll actually show that one for you right now. So it leaves this here. They damage everyone. It's quite cool. So you got the Wings of Ishmir. There's your trail from the poison, so it's quite obvious too when I throw it. Obviously the longer if you hold your mouse close, it shoots really wide. If you hold it out further away on a target, it'll go a lot thinner, like that. So you've got more chance to hit multiple targets. Apart from that, actually, I should show you. So attributes, I have nothing. This is just stock standard on my gear, except for toughness. All my points are in toughness for the maximum health. My damage, average damage doesn't seem to really show any difference. I've had a few different builds that are very weird, but crit chance 48%. These are all my obviously ailments. Bleed chance. No, again, they're not really important because as a dual daggers, you hit very quickly. The ailment chances and stuff like that is not really that relevant. My material resistance is very low at the moment. Again, a lot of stuff is very low. I haven't really optimized my gear, as I was saying in my YouTube thing the other day. A lot of my gear, I go for dodge chance, crit chance. Now my weapons, these ones took me a while to get. 157s and a 179. I don't know how I got that. But, yeah, it was just silly, but great job. I ended up rolling on, I think it was crit damage on that one, using my legendary reagents. Obviously, being this build, you want to go for physical damage, material damage, meaning physical, rend, or toxic. The other ones don't matter because I didn't take the node which shows, I think it's called Gods Among Men, where it only takes material damage. So you don't need to worry about that. Now in my chest, I've got maximum health. Now I didn't know this, but if you take those out, my health drops significantly. Like those 2% points there is just a massive bump. I thought it was only like 1,000 health, but it's substantially more than that. So definitely worth the gems. All the other gems I have is just passive dodge chance. I have bleed chance in my neck, simply to try and help even though it doesn't really improve it much. It only bumped it up like, I think, 5%. Everything else is just standard resist, rage on hit, crit damage, and that's pretty much about it. On the boots, I prefer movement speed, toughness and passive. Dodge chance, the occult damage on there and the resist is pretty useless, but again, just trying to find some better stuff. I'll get occult damage on everything, it's quite silly, but it does kind of help with some of my attacks that do shadow damage, like that one for example, or my Dust Shroud, that curses. But again, it's not a real biggie. But that's pretty much it for the build. Oh, pardon me, for the build. So yeah, that's Flaring Flames, the one that gives you the buff. Branded Burst. As for my aspect, you know, completely up to you which one you choose. This one is really, really fun. That one's pretty good. I personally like the fire one. Yeah, but that one does do a gigantic beam. That's pretty much it. Thanks very much, guys.